Today's video is all about flying by yourself for the first time, and it may feel like that next time I get up in this. It's probably the most exciting, terrifying, most life-changing moment of your flying training. As a student, you obsess over it, when it will be, what it will be like, will you remember all your checks? But ultimately though, it's up to the instructor. He'll send you when he feels like you're ready, and when he feels comfortable sending you up on his ticket. The amount of training it takes to go solo varies greatly. For me, it took exactly 20 hours of flying training, which I would say is just above average. I got the hang of most of flying training, but there's one thing which held me up: landings.
Crash! Bang! Wallop! What a centre line!
Really, to get over it, it just took a lot of repetition and a lot of patience from my instructor, Willie. Gradually though, thanks to having a young brain aged 16, the wires started to click together, and after a lot of repetition, suddenly my brain started to realise what it was trying to do and how to do it. Just that sort of sensation of, you can ride a bicycle now. That's what it was like for getting the landings in the right place. Don't get me wrong, I still have a bad landing, more often than I would care to admit, but I can land now. On a statue still summer's day, a bit like this, my mother drove me to the airport for what I would expect was going to be another dual circuits lesson, trying to get the hang of landings. But on the climb out after touch and go, my instructor Willie looked round at me and said, "Lewis, if you can do another landing like that, you will go solo today." And as luck would have it, I did. And yes, I did get driven. I was 16, not road legal. And with that, Willie took off his headset, got out the plane, and went up to the air traffic tower for a cup of tea. I tried to put it all to the back of my mind and begin the taxi. It was weird not having anyone to chat to on the way out to the runway. As I turn out onto the runway, I afford myself a little thumbs up to camera. And then there I am, feet trembling slightly on the rudder pedals, looking down 3 kilometres of runway, about to launch myself into the sky. The aircraft leaps off the mark as I apply power. It's light with only one person on board. The airspeed indicator twitches and then rises sharply. 60 knots and I sheepishly ease back on the yoke. The aeroplane flies, and it's all me. Suspended in that moment, you realise you've just achieved what was once only in the realm of the gods. You are ascending to the heavens with only yourself to take you back. The rate of climb in the 152 without an instructor on board is a lot greater, and this needs to be compensated for. By the time I'm at the end of the runway, I'm at circuit height, 1,000 feet. After the downwind radio call, there's a few brief seconds to take it all in. I look down at people on the ground and I realise the only way I'm getting back there is if I do my job in the next minute. I completed my downwind checks in a machine-like fashion. The training was working.
My auntie managed to get a recording of the landing clearance, along with providing some commentary.
So this is us at Prestwick Flight Centre watching Lewis come in from his first solo flight, about to land. All by himself. Fiona and Susan present. Proud mother, proud auntie, waiting for him to talk to the tower, which is what you'll hear next.
Charlie, runway 31, clear to land, Cessna 3003,
Once the base to final turn is made, familiar runway presents itself. The confidence builds. You can make it back. The second the wheels touch the ground is a massive feeling of relief. You have flown a plane, and you have lived on this occasion. Again this week I've asked for some of your questions on the video topic, and some of you have written in, so let's take a look. Fraser asks, how does it feel to be an exclusive club of people that flew a plane solo before driving a car solo? Yes, bit of an odd one. Yeah, so I got driven to the airport by my mother, and for at least 2 years after that, before I got my driver's licence, I would cycle, get the train, or get driven to the airport. Very odd. Michael asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how scared were you? And were you more nervous of flying yourself than you were driving? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, definitely, in terms of how scared I've been in my life, I would say 9 or 10, really. The only thing that would come close was jumping out of a plane. And that's another story. Was I more nervous flying or driving? I think it's just dangerous. Driving is so dangerous, we don't even think about it. On country roads, cars pass each other at 60 miles an hour, so that's a closing velocity of 120 miles an hour, and they're just within a couple of metres of each other. All that would take a little nudge of the the steering wheel, and you've got a big mess. Driving's definitely scarier and more dangerous. Moving on. Chris asks, did anything go wrong in your flight, or not exactly to plan, that tested you? Nothing went wrong. What tested me more than anything was probably the nerves. Well, I was only 16 at the time, so I don't really have much life experience. Don't have much life experience now, but you've done all the training, and it's just being able to tell yourself that training is going to work. This biggest fear I had about going solo was that I would freeze up and I would forget the training. So thankfully that fear was not realised, and as soon as I was in the air flying around, it all just came back to me like it was with an instructor, except you've not got him speaking to you. Finally, Andrew writes in, were the fire engines all lined up ready to go like they were for Freddie? And Freddie retorts, no, they were all in the shelters underground. Yes, at Prestwick we've got a fire section which is normally category 5, it's down to cat 3 just now, so they don't really need to stand up, they're always in that hut next to the fire engines ready to go. But a less used airfield like Lookers, when there's a first solo happening, the firefighters get into the fire engine with the engine running, which can make you a little nervous seeing that happening. But at least you know that they're there should you need them. I was speaking to Freddie today actually. He just completely blanks out his first solo. First he was taxiing, then he was downwind 800 feet, and then he was getting his instructor back in the plane to taxi back. Yeah, I guess I'm very lucky I got the camera in there, or else I probably wouldn't remember much as well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Alba Skies. I really hope to be flying this plane again soon and producing some new content instead of just going through all my old GoPro footage. I can do some really cool stuff with this, but we'll see. So if you've enjoyed this, please like it. Give us a wee comment. Maybe you've flown solo or you're thinking about going solo soon, subscribe to Alba Skies, of course, and we might have some of this coming out soon. But just thank you for watching.